Kamen Rider Gaim, or Armored Rider Gaim, was one of the first riders that I ever watched. He literally is a perfect motif of taking a fruit and a samurai and putting it together and making a phenomenal story. Yo guys, what's up? This is your boy Kamen Rider Zero Spike, back again once again, and today we're here for another episode of Rider Gush, the series where I talk about my favorite riders and Super Sentai. And I decided to do a thing where I'm just going to go down the line and talk about every Sentai and every rider that I've ever watched in my Toku fandom that I have going on. And Kamen Rider Gaim definitely is that rider that became part of my top 5. My top 5 rider list that's never going to change. And if you've been on this channel for a while, you know I did my top 5 favorite Kamen Riders, and he is my number 3. Now, Gaim definitely was a series that was very different for me. The series was very broad when it came down to its characters, and all these characters had a purpose. All the characters had their own time to shine, and their own characters and their own morals and goals and their own personalities, even though some of them did feel sidelined to a degree sometimes. But other than that, these characters still had their own time to shine, their own power set, their own moveset, their own thoughts and goals and things like that, and also becoming a really tight-knit friend group to about maybe like the tail end of the series, or just about in the middle of the series. And when it came down to watching Gaim, the story at first was pretty wacky. A very different take, well, one of the most like different takes on Rider, and an idea that they had that a lot of people thought wasn't going to work. And from the information that I gathered, originally it wasn't gonna be samurai and fruits. It was gonna be like a bird theme and fruits, because birds, some birds eat fruits. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't go down that line. Also, the another idea for Gaim was going to be fashion, and that's an idea that I would really love. I would really love a fashion based Kamen Rider. And one of the things I always wanted was, hey, we should have a fashion based Kamen Rider, and we get like our first like main female rider. Like, she's the main rider of the series, she's the main character of the series, and her whole thing would be fashion. And I would love to see that happen in Rider. But back to Kamen Rider Gaim. I love the story of how they built up this whole world, and the backstories and things like that they dealt with when it came down to each rider, because each rider was basically the representation of a old world where these characters had their own nations and battled it out for the golden apple, the forbidden fruit. And I really liked that dynamic. It basically brought all of them together, and it was really one of those series that was just like, man, I didn't think that this idea would work, especially when the whole fruit thing. And a lot of these suits look dope. A lot of these forms look really dope, and I did like that. Even though we had those big, bulky, kind of forms and things like that, they worked. It made sense for the series to have some big, bulky forms and make them like really powerful. Hence the name Armored Rider. Very heavily armored, some of these forms, but these forms were beautiful. And a lot of these forms really stuck out from each other. Like, everyone was different. Everyone had their own style and their own, you know, armor and things like that, where they look really unique for themselves. Even though some people were weaker than others, a lot of people in the series who were writers all looked great. The backstories and things that they came up with were pretty dope as well. And a lot of the tie-ins, a lot of the movies, like a lot of the spin-offs of Gaim really like brought the whole like concept of Kamen Rider Gaim like full freaking circle. And I really appreciated all the context and things that they gave when it came down to focusing on certain characters and giving them that shine and giving them that strength feat, like showing how powerful they were on their own when dealing with their own struggles and their own enemies. And I really like that. Even the bad guys and anti-hero or villain writers in Gaim throughout the whole scope of Gaim, I really liked. They were just, first of all, beautiful suits. Like, some of these suits were, like I said before, very, very abstract and beautiful and just different overall. Like, you can look at Gaim writers and be like, these are Kamen writers. Like, you wouldn't really look at them and think that, oh, these are Kamen writers, these are, you know, Mass Rider, you know, things like that. Like, you wouldn't really think that when first looking at Gaim. And because at that time, like, writer had like an established like look. Like, all writers had like this established like look to them. Like, you look at them and it's like, no, that's not a Sentai, that's not an Ultraman, that's not a Garo, that's a Kamen Rider. And a lot of things, a lot of when it came out to designs, a lot of these suits kind of look like Armored Hero, you know, like a lot of these suits kind of look like that. And when you look at Gaim, you really wouldn't see like Kamen Rider like that, and you wouldn't really think it was a Kamen Rider. But hey, my boy's a Kamen Rider, and he was amazingly cool. And I love the music, because Gaim has an amazing soundtrack and an amazing scores of these, like, of the openings, background music, fighting music. Like, Gaim was just a masterpiece of when it came down to, in my opinion, it came down to music and designs and overall just beautiful like fight scenes and things like that. And also 2 different rider belts, which it's not the first and will not be the last rider to have multiple like different rider belts for different characters. I'm looking at you, Kamen Rider build. but other than that, like, I think I like both of them equally. I don't know, I liked both of them. I like both of them pretty evenly. But this series was definitely one of my most favorite riders, and that's why it's my number 3. It's yeah, I put Forze ahead of it. If you haven't seen my Rider Gush Forze episode, go check that out. But yeah, Gaim definitely is one of my favorite riders to just go back and watch multiple times. I watch the movies a lot. Like, as much as bad as some of these movies are, when it comes down to certain things in these movies, they were still fun and looked cool and just overall like stunning when it came down to visuals. And yeah, man, you guys, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of Kamen Rider Gaim. What you guys think of this series. I know it came out in 2013, which is the year I graduated high school. But this series definitely is one of my most favorite Kamen Rider, and it's never leaving my top 5 ever. My 1, 2, and my 3, those 3 will never leave the top 5. Maybe the 4 and the 5th, but other than that, they're not. These 3 right here are my big 3 for my tokusatsu Kamen Rider journey that I've been going down these past maybe 6-7 years. But yeah, guys, you guys let me know down in the comment section below, what is your favorite thing about Kamen Rider Gaim? Do you like Kamen Rider Gaim? What were your favorite moments in Kamen Rider Gaim? Who are your favorite characters in Gaim? Like, let me know all the tea down there in the comment section below. And that's not tea, but let me know all your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. And I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As remember, as I always say, guys, stay henshin. Another episode of Rider Gush in the books.